How to rent a car without a credit card. Man, does this hit home because a couple weeks ago, I really struggled trying to get this accomplished. I went and I was doing contract work as an engineer. So I went to Oklahoma to do work and I landed at the airport expecting to have a ride. So I had a coworker that was going to be riding at the same time as me, and we were going to ride to site together. Well, the flights were delayed, it got changed. It didn't work out that way. So what did I have to do? I got there without my coworker. Coworker was already at site. Then I had to then figure out my way there. No big deal. It's a big airport. And I thought, well, I'll just rent a car. The place that I usually go to, Hertz is the example, they will take a debit card. No dramas. As long as I have a flight out of the airport, which I did. I was actually only going to be there for 5 days, and they were sold out. Bummer. So I went to the next rental car place that I would have chosen to go to. They were also sold out. I don't know what was going on this week, but they had no cars. Third and final place that was open there at the airport. Cool. They had a car. All right, awesome. What are you going to charge me? 500 bucks. So $100 a day. They took all my information, my license, my debit card, did all of this. Their policy was that not only did I have to have a flight out, but I had to do a quick credit check. Again, not a problem, except for I have frozen my credit. That's right. My credit is zero. So this isn't so much a discussion about renting a car with a debit card, because that's not a problem. It's renting a car without a credit score or access for them, access to do a credit check. Cool. Which I asked the guy behind the counter, all right, let me unfreeze my credit. Let me try this. There was no way around it. Because even if I used my coworker that had a credit card, then he had to be there with me to pick it up. It had to be me. It had to be my card. So I unfroze my credit. Okay, cool. Went on my computer, on my phone, and tried to do it. I waited 10 minutes. I waited 30 minutes. I waited 45 minutes, and I kept going to the counter and it still was not unfroze. So it must take a certain amount of time, and I was tired of waiting. At this point, waiting for a car or unfreezing your credit just to get a card is kind of annoying, especially when you need to get to site after you've been on a plane all day and traveling just to go to work. So I just said, man, screw it. I got in an Uber, and the Uber was long. It was a 45-minute ride, an hour away. So unfortunately for that driver, I mean, he got paid well to go there, but he probably didn't have anybody to take back to town because it was a little ways out of town. But for me, I got there, and it was really nice because I got there and it cost about 60 bucks. So $500 for 5 days. Instead, I just went there for 60 bucks in an Uber. The cool thing was I got to charge my phone. Not that I couldn't do that while driving, but I got on my computer to answer emails and get prepared for site works. I couldn't do that while driving. So I got to save money, in this case, company money. I got to save money and get work done at the same time. Win-win for me. Now, like I said, I was only going to be there 5 days, but it got extended. I stayed an extra week. So I stayed for 2 weeks. And had I had the rental car, that would have been another $100 a day that they would have gotten from me. They couldn't check my credit. It bounced back, said undeterminable. Can't give you a car. So they would have missed out on 1,000 or more money because they have this policy. And it only cost me $40 to get back to the airport. So I spent $100 on trips versus the car company, the rental car company could have ended up with 1,200 bucks at least. The point of this video is that I want you to know that you can rent a car without a credit card. You may choose not to freeze your credit. I have chosen to do that because I don't want anybody to steal my identity. I love that peace of mind. And that's why I've chosen to do it. And there's always a way around it. Now, Mike, what did you do when you were at site? How did you get to your hotel and to site, back and forth, the food and all this stuff? My coworker still had a car. I just didn't get an extra car. So I just had to get there. We stayed at the same place, went to the same place to work, same hours. So it worked out beautifully. So $100 versus $1,200 that I got to spend and the car company lost out on. Big tip here, make plans. I could have avoided this whole thing by going ahead and having a car rental place that I know will take a debit card, which most places will, most major airports will, and having a car set aside, like a booking in advance. Again, I don't know what was going on this week, and they were busy. So that's why there was no cars available. Otherwise, I would have ended up with a car. So booking in advance, letting them know that you have a debit card, and usually it's just a flight out that you have to show them. Yes, I got a flight out. It's not hard. I've even shown up to the counter and said, no, I don't have a flight out, and still got a rental car. And that was because I bought a flight right then. I got a flexible fare, and that's all they wanted to see. And then I could have changed my flight later. It's not hard, not impossible. So don't tell me you cannot rent a car without a credit card. And I'm proving to you it's even possible not to rent a car. It's a beautiful thing. All right, guys, that's all for now. If you want to have a comment below this video, if you're watching YouTube or you listen to podcasts, put a comment below saying, have you ever had success with this? Or give me a rebuttal, meaning, oh, no, this is impossible. I could never do this for my type of work and where I land. I can't get a rental car without, I have to have a credit card. So just comment below. I look forward to responding to those.